What do Falcons do? We rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reaction, a show we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia, sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Doc, and a lifelong sports fan, coming to you with another Victory Monday! Woo! Getting a win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to come into sole possession of first place in the NFC South. Now, was it an ugly game? Yes, it frackin' was. Two fumbles on the goal line, or basically at the goal line. Another toward, when we're in the red zone. So 3 fumbles, and all from one Desmond Ridder, who, other than that, played a pretty good game. 19 of 25 for 250 yards, only took 1 sack, was able to escape pressure. His rating was 107.1, and he had 1 touchdown on the ground, which was great. He should have had another, but he let off, and in doing so, ended up getting the ball knocked out, which really sucked. Especially because when you look at this game, it ended up being 16-13, and the defense is fully to credit for that 13 points. They are fully to credit for keeping them to basically nothing for most of the day. Did have that one big give up to Mike Evans because A.J. Terrell, who's undersized against him and would probably do better with Jeff Okudah with him, ended up getting blown on coverage. And Jeff Okudah played very well overall as well. I'm very happy with him so far. Glad that we've got him on the team, and he's well worth I think it was 5th-round pick to acquire. But the defense played remarkably well. Baker Mayfield was 27 of 42 for 256 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Key interception by Richie Grant to kind of keep him out of the end zone on a drive that looked like it was about to be a problem for the Falcons. Kept the rushing game to basically nothing. The biggest run they had was Baker Mayfield on a 31-yard run. Rachaad White had 13 carries for 34 yards. They did not look good. Falcons on the opposite end ended up rushing very well, in spite of Bijan Robinson being kind of a game-time scratch, and a surprising game-time scratch. I'm sure that screwed up a ton of fantasy owners, but we don't play for fantasy. We're playing to win a series here. And you had Tyler Algier stepping in, 21 for 59. Not the most efficient day on the ground, but he did what he needed to do, and particularly caught 3 big passes in the air. Ended up getting 53 yards on the ground, so great day for Tyler Algier. Cordell Patterson ended up being used more than I think we wanted to. And what I noticed about Cordell Patterson, again, he's a wide receiver playing running back, so he looks a lot bigger out there when you first see him. But he actually did not look very quick. He's starting to show a little bit of his age, but he does have the ability to juke. He does have the ability to cause people to miss and still act like a human joystick on the field. Drake London led the team in receptions and targets with 7 targets and 6 receptions, 54 yards. Again, we already talked about Tyler. Kyle Pitts, while not utilized incredibly, had some really big moments in the game. Was 3 for 47. You had Scotty Miller getting a huge pass from Desmond Ridder, 1 for 46. I thought it was Van Jefferson when I first saw him, because I'm just thinking, who else is going to be running downfield? And Scotty Miller is down there getting a little revenge yardage on his old team. But then the biggest problem here was Desmond Ridder. Again, for somebody who played so well through the air, he played so incredibly poorly from a ball control standpoint. The final score was 16-13. This very easily should have been somewhere in the neighborhood of 30-13 or 33-13. We were dominant from start to finish, and the score does not reflect how the game actually went. The Falcons were in the driver's seat for most of the game, if not the entire thing. They came out firing on all cylinders on defense, came out firing with a touchdown early on, and then we just had the fumbles. So, again, Desmond Ridder didn't throw an interception, where he threw 3 last week, and they were all pretty bad. This week, he turned into Fumblerooski, so I don't know what to make of that. One of them, the touchdown run that got basically punched out in the end zone, that's something that he's just going to have to run full force with. I think he got lax at the end of it. The other two, I would put one on Drew Dahlman because that was the center not really snapping a good ball. A lot of people are going to say, well, Ritter's got to be ready. Well, if the center does a bad snap, then that's hard to get over. I thought Ritter was going to jump on it, but one of their defenders just got there just a split second before Ritter fell on the ball. So that's one that we should have back, one that we wish we had back. But it's okay. And then another one that was pretty bad, again, when we were within the 20-yard line. So this is something that we could have easily had points on the board for. As far as sacks, we ended up with 3 on the day, including Calais Campbell getting another one, David Onyemata having a huge sack in a key moment, and then Lorenzo Carter able to chase down Baker Mayfield for a sack. Again, these all came on pretty key moments, so great for us. Tackles for losses, we had 5 of those altogether if you include the sacks. And then as far as passes defended, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in total, which was great. So I have no problems with the way our defense has been playing as of the last couple of games. We're finally starting to add on some sacks. I don't know where that puts us on the sack total. I think we're at 13 for the year, so I don't know where that puts us in terms of everybody else. But considering a couple of years ago, we didn't break the 20 mark, and the fact that we got 13 already in the first 7 games of the year, I'm really encouraged by the fact that we could do well going forward here. And this is a big win. We are now in sole possession of first place. You had the Carolina Panthers on a bye who are winless and in possession of the number 1 overall pick, which will go to Chicago because Bryce Young is who they took this year and traded up for. And then you have the Saints losing on Thursday Night Football to the Jacksonville Jaguars, so we're now a game ahead of them, and now we own a tiebreaker with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, again, I don't think they're that good of a team. I think they've had a couple of good showings, but they looked more like the team I thought we were going to see at the beginning of the season this past week. So, I don't know. The Falcons do look like the best overall team. We are going to live and die by how well Desmond Ridder plays. Obviously, I don't know how you fix the fumble problem. I am not somebody who knows what a locker room looks like. I'm not somebody that knows how to fix that problem. Just like Melvin Gordon last year was Mr. Fumblerooski for the Denver Broncos, where he'd been pretty solid the rest of his career. I don't know how you fix that problem, and I don't know what causes that problem to come on. It's not medical. It's just a weird thing. We are going to the Titans next. I'll be real honest. This is a winnable game. It's a very winnable game. They got bad quarterback play. If you want to talk about bad quarterback play, they have it. We, at least for the most part, have competent quarterback play most of the time, it seems like. But they have bad quarterback play. They have bad offensive line play. Their defense is pretty solid overall, but they still are giving up big plays. This is a team that we should be able to beat, especially going into the next stretch. We have at the Titans, then we get the Vikings at home, and then we get at the Cardinals. All 3 of those are winnable games, especially when you consider the Minnesota Vikings. They are going to be without Justin Jefferson. He is still going to be on the last week of his IR when we get to that game on November 5th. And I want to give the Vikings something to remember on the 5th of November. So let's hope that we do well here. This is a very winnable stretch of games with 3 more here, so we could very easily be looking at 7-3 or 6-4 going into our bye week, and then coming out going against the Saints at home, which will be a huge, huge game. But guys, I am trying to hit 500 subscribers. Got a couple more over the weekend. Thank you so much to the 2 of you who've joined us. We're now at 187. It means the world to me that you guys are joining me for content. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. And as always, rise up.